like me, you may have loaded into Age of Empires 4 this morning and discovered patch 7.9.8.9. In this video, I'm going to take you through what the patch update includes, what it doesn't include, what future fixes have been highlighted by the development team of Age of Empires 4, and what we should expect moving forward. As you can see, when you peruse over to the Age of Empires 4 website, there are a massive load of game issues that they're currently working on fixing. These include performance issues for Nvidia cards, hotkey issues, issues with fog of war, terrain, you name it, they're there. And down the bottom here, you can see 3 that were fixed in this update. Don't worry, I'll cover those a little bit more detail later in the video. The important thing here, though, is that when you peruse through the Age of Empires forums and Steam page and so on and so forth, you'll find that patch update 7.9.8.9 is relatively scarce. In fact, to call it a small patch update would be an understatement. Here are the release notes and some notes on further known issues that weren't patched in this update. Basically, the crux of this update, aside from a few smaller things that I will cover in detail, largely revolves around fixing an issue with the Mongol town centre. So I will show you some experimental testing gameplay with the Mongols in the background as we talk a little bit more about this update now. This is what the game start for the Mongols looks like. And for those who don't know, really quickly, that's my town centre cruising around there. That little vehicle basically is the Mongols. You can pack up your stuff, move around, and unpack it. The issue with this town centre in particular is that up until now, basically you've been able to rush the enemy down by essentially placing your town centre, right? Picking it up, packing it up, wheeling it along, and aggressively smashing it down right next to theirs, or at least in a position that would leave you in a really favourable, perhaps somewhat cheesy, overstated advantage against your opponent, right? Basically, you could cheese the game. What this update has done, and here is a quote verbatim for you from the release notes, the Mongol town centre capital can no longer be placed directly next to their opponent's town centre. From now on, the Mongol town centre capital must be placed in an explored area, change number 1, and not within 20 tiles of an enemy's town centre. There's the second point. Our balance team, they say, will continue to observe our feedback, that's the community, on this and other elements of gameplay. That's the big change here. There are some restrictions on where you can place the Mongol town centre to try and prohibit us from basically just wheeling it up and destroying our enemy. A couple of other small things did come through from this update, which I'll cover off before I talk a little bit more about that Mongol town centre and the future roadmap for Age of Empires 4. We also had some changes made to, quote, drastically reduce performance drops when panning the camera across the map. I didn't suffer from this a lot, but I know that some players did. Steam users can now link their Xbox Live accounts in-game, go us, and some small adjustments were made to in-game localization. Nothing really much to delve into there. Also, a really minor thing, some users reported health bars disappearing during the gameplay. Regardless of their settings, this has been fixed. Nice. However, they also noted some known issues that were not fixed in the update. You saw me pan over the known issues page at the start of the video, but I think one is really important to note here. The requirements text for the Mongol town centre capital does not call out the necessity for it to be placed in an explored area. So, this has been changed, but it is not displaying like it's been changed. Also, replays from the previous version 7.274 don't work in this patch update. Nice to note. A couple of others, there's still a known issue with the Mongol civ packed buildings continuously being repaired. That hasn't been fixed. The known issues with the Mongols' superior mobility, providing too much increased movement speed, hasn't been fixed, and the known issue of infinite relic duplication for the Rus hasn't been fixed. These are 3 pretty important things that haven't been fixed. The Rus infinite relic duplication is a massive one. I've come across this, actually, in some multiplayer skirmishes that I was playing. Just a couple that I was playing the other day. This still hasn't been fixed. It is messing with the meta. This needs to be addressed. That is the crux of what happened in this update. Thank you, by the way, very much to a very kind Discord user who provided me with the gameplay footage of the Mongols. I am not at home and I was unable to record it, so thank you very much for providing me with it. Now let's talk about the roadmap moving forward, okay? Because I think it's fair to say that this update is pretty small. And as one of you rightly pointed out on the Age of Insiders forums, there was a lot more development interest shown on Age of Empires 3 DE in the same time frame that Age of Empires 4 has been released. AOE3 DE, as you can see, as pointed out by this commenter, had seen many patch updates, balance updates, and fix updates up until this point. So I think rightly there are many members in the community who feel a little bit not ripped off, but let down by the status of this update and by the progress of this update. And it has left some Age of Empires 4 users questioning just how quickly Microsoft and the team behind AOE4 will actually be developing and improving this game. I'm still optimistic and hopeful, and by and large, I do personally believe that Age of Empires 4 is a fairly well-balanced and structured experience. However, as I've already noted in this video, there is a distinct lack of fixing some really important issues in Age of Empires 4 that have yet to be addressed. Now, I don't want to seem like somebody who's just throwing their toys out of the cot and saying they're not fixing it fast enough, they're not fixing it hard enough. Don't worry, I get it. It is still very early days in Age of Empires 4 post-release development, and I think it would be unfair of us, actually, to say, hey, why have you not released 4 patches? Why have you not fixed this, that, and the other? But also, to play devil's advocate, it has been a while, and there are some game-breaking, meta-breaking balance issues that have yet to be fixed. So, that leaves me to wonder and ask in the last part of this video, what does the future development cycle or roadmap of Age of Empires 4 actually even look like? At the moment, we haven't heard a lot from their community team or the dev team on the Age of Insiders forums. Their own forums have been relatively bare. Not completely empty, but relatively bare on community updates. They do seem to be a little more active on Reddit, and there's some good information available there. And on the rest of their socials, they've been relatively quiet. So finding formal information on what to expect is difficult. If we relate out to other Age of Empires releases, which granted were a very long time ago, or perhaps other strategy games more broadly, like Humankind or Civilization, I think we should expect to see some more significant updates from Age of Empires 4. But will they be this side of the holidays? Hard to say. The release cycle, as we know, is very close to the holidays, and actually the dev team have acknowledged that they do have a few of their people out already on break, and they'll have more moving forward as we move into the last month of 2020. Yikes. We should experience, or expect to experience, a delay in developments. I would anticipate, and this is just me guessing here at the end of the video, some educated guesses no less, that we would see some more finalized tweaks and developments, at least one patch before Christmas, and then some more substantive work on not just trying to hotfix some issues in AOE4, but actually really bring us more fully fledged developmental updates in the first quarter of 2022, and then maybe we see some really substantial DLC down the line. But I don't know. I think it's important to note that there are broadly still a couple of performance issues to be fixed, certainly some game balance issues to be fixed, and we would like to see those, I believe, fixed before Christmas of this year, and then we can move through to look at some more substantial DLC and content updates, perhaps in the first quarter, if not the second, of 2022. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this relatively quick Age of Empires 4 update video. It was a relatively small and, rightly so, I think somewhat disappointing patch update. Here's hoping for more substantive ones moving forward. I've been JumboPixel, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and bye-bye.